For more on this story, let's welcome Mo Laudi. He is a South African curator, artist, composer, and DJ. Thanks so much for being with us here on France 24. So hip-hop has been around for 50 years now. I wonder if you can just talk about its influence on your own music and art.
Oh gosh, the whole influence of hip-hop goes so deep. It started for me in Polokwane when I was a child, rapping in Sotho, inspired by Gerald Sokoto, and how he looked at the Sophia Town movement and then reinterpreting how Snoop Dogg would rap about All Stars. And then you see Mapantola wearing All Stars, and then the Bomb Squad from Public Enemy, and the whole graffiti painting on the street, taking the street and creating a whole identity when you don't have a space, but creating your own space, your own community, your own sense of belonging, the DIY aesthetic of how people like Virgil Abloh went from working with Kanye West to being the head of Louis Vuitton, and you see the same aesthetic that goes into Pharrell Williams and the Jay-Z's creating a whole economy. And even now, when I am making music, I'm thinking about this legend, how they transform the culture, and me creating my own label, which led to my own philosophy, Globalista, or how you think about the world and the biggest malls, and say whatever it takes to make it, the Nas. And this whole idea of you can make it no matter where you're from. And even now when I'm curating, I'm thinking about how to create a sense of community. I work with artists like Arthur Jaffa. Way back in the day, I was lucky that in 2010 he created my music video, and later to find that he's making music videos for Jay-Z's and Kanye West, and the videos like Wash Us in Blood. And now when I'm curating for the next exhibition that's going to be in 2025 with Madeleine Leclerc at the Musée d'Ethnographie de Genève, it's looking at this history that is inspired, that is transformed, that is changing people's identity. The griots, how they went from Mali, passing generations of history through rap, through storytelling. And I'm looking at people like Hototsileko Rapetsi, who inspired the last poets to create their name, the last poets, that is inspired by one of the poems. So hip hop it's integral to the aesthetic, the philosophy, my own philosophy, Globalisto, and it's changing day by day to look at the words, as Jay-Z now has an exhibition at the Brooklyn Museum, and you look at these words and how they have this empowerment, and how we are actually changing society by thinking about how we feel about ourselves.
We should point out hip-hop was preceded by other forms of African-American music, such as jazz, R&B, rock and roll. We're running out of time here, but I did want to ask you, many genres don't have the staying power that hip-hop has had. How do you explain its longevity with just about a minute left here?
It's evolved from the aesthetic of basically a party music to a business where you actually think about how you actually exist and how you produce your music. Instead of waiting for someone to create a platform, you create that platform yourself. And this is the DIY philosophy that's in Globalisto, creating that platform for ourselves and not waiting for other people. And that's the lasting power that you see in hip hop, and how these artists are able to transform again and again. And it's no longer just part of a subculture, but it's mainstream. It's everywhere you go. You have brands that are appropriating this culture. Everywhere you go, you see a little bit of hip hop that is there, that is remaining.
Its influence has definitely gone beyond music and certainly into pop culture. Sorry for cutting you off there, but we've run out of time. Mo Laudi, South
No
African
worries.
curator, artist, composer, and DJ. Thanks so much for celebrating the 50th birthday of hip hop with us here on France 24.